What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about a little something different. It's actually non-controversial. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm talking about something non-controversial. On my channel I always talk about politics or something relating to politics, society, whatever. But that's not actually my only hobby. I like a lot of other things, including basketball. I'm a huge basketball fan, specifically a Spurs fan, as you can tell. I know, I'm so, it's so obvious. The reason why I want to talk about basketball and the Spurs in particular today is because they are retiring Tim Duncan's jersey today. And he's actually my favorite NBA player of all time, hands down. Any team, any league, any decade, he is my favorite player. So this is very emotional for me because I know I'll never see him play on the court again. You know, a lot of people had the same reaction when Kobe Bryant retired the same year. I didn't feel that much because Kobe Bryant was often the enemy, like the main obstacle to the Spurs when it came to the playoffs and the championship, So what lots of people felt when Kobe retired, when Michael Jordan retired, and when LeBron James will soon retire, that's what I felt about Tim Duncan. I know a lot of other people don't feel that because not a lot of people like the Spurs, not a lot of people like Tim Duncan in particular because he's quote-unquote boring. Okay, I'm sorry that slamming so many dunks in opponents' faces and winning 5 fucking championships is boring, but I guess we have different definitions of boring. But I just want to make, I don't know, kind of like a tribute to him because he's retiring his jersey and explain myself why I like Tim Duncan, because some people are like, well, he's so boring, why would you like him? Really, in liking the Spurs throughout all these years, it's always been about the team itself. The organization as a whole has never been about one player. And that speaks to how well of an organization that Greg Popovich made. That he can make a system so good that it doesn't matter if David Robinson retires or Tim Duncan retires. The organization will still go strong and they are still contenders for the championship. Tim Duncan just retired. And now the Spurs are, can you look it up? No, I don't feel like looking it up. Like the second or third in the West. I think Golden State's won first place and Spurs like second or third. So they retired their best player of all time, and this same year they are still contending for the playoffs. It's not like they retire their best player and then they just suck really bad. You know how the Heat did when LeBron James left, and then Dwayne left. I think 2 seasons after that. I think he stuck around for 1 season, and now the Heat are just suck. They're just sucky organization. They are not. I don't think they made the playoffs last year, if I remember correctly. So it's not like that. It's always been about the team. So that's why when Tim Duncan retired, I was sad for a little bit, but then I tell myself, it's never about one person. It's never about Greg Popovich, David Robinson, not any one person. That's how good the organization is. That's how good their culture is. That's how good their teamwork is that it is never on the cult of personality. The Lakers were all about Kobe Bryant. And now, even when they had him, they sucked a lot. So that's not... The Bulls, when Jordan left, what have the Bulls done since Jordan left? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They depended on him so much for their championships. As soon as he left, they suck, and they have been sucking ever since. Okay, sucking is just trash talk. I know they made the playoffs. They're a decent team. They're not like the fucking Nets or the Knicks or something. But they haven't won a championship. I don't think they haven't been in the finals, if I remember correctly. They haven't been in the finals since MJ retired. Tim Duncan's departure will not have the same effect that MJ leaving the Bulls, for example, will have. Another reason why I like Tim Duncan a lot is because he is an extreme introvert. He is one of the most introverted basketball players in the history of the NBA. He does not like the spotlight. He's not flashy. He doesn't spend all his money on stupid crap, and just showing off for the paparazzi. Like, he is so introverted, and as a huge introvert, I looked up to him a lot when I was a kid. Actually, that was the reason why I started watching basketball, honestly. It was because he started playing. And I was in like 4th, no, it was before that. I think it was 3rd grade. Yeah, 3rd grade was the first championship. that they won in '99. I was in 3rd grade. And I looked up to him because he proved that you don't have to be a flashy, in-your-face, trash-talking, like bully on the court, like MJ and Kobe Bryant soon to be was. They're a little trash talking, they're loud, they remind me of the bully on the playground, and it's like, no, they are not the only ones that can win championships. The quiet, introverted person who doesn't trash talk, he only shows through his stats and his wins that they can win a championship. So for me, being really introverted at the time, actually I'm still introverted, but I was like really, really quiet when I was a kid. There was someone to look up to. I couldn't relate to Kobe Bryant that much because he was just the stereotypical jock. In your face, trash talking, always flashing moves, spinning all these girls and hookers and fucking cars and everything, and it's just like I can't relate to that because I don't really like any of that. But Tim Duncan doesn't trash talk. He will beat the shit out of you on the court. He won't trash talk. Yeah, he'll tease people, but that's different. You know what I mean? So that's just something I can relate to. I couldn't relate to a lot of other basketball players. Because a lot of other basketball players, not even just superstars, but basketball players in general, they're not introverts. So that's why it's really rare to see someone so damn good who's also so introverted. Another thing I like about him is that he's a total geek. I mean, I admit it, I'm a geek. I play a lot of nerdy computer games. I write music. When I was a band, I wrote songs about video games a lot. And then I want to, hopefully one day, write music for video games, So that's totally, like, the fucking nerdy shit. Like, look at my fucking wall. I mean, how nerdy can you get? A fucking Chinese tiger and dragon and everything. But I have no problem admitting that I'm a nerd. That's just the things I like to do. And Duncan was also the same. He was a total nerd. He likes playing like Dungeons and Dragons and other board games, and like he LARPs and everything. Like that's even too nerdy to me. I won't LARP ever, but he does that. So he doesn't give a shit what anyone else thinks. Another reason I like about him is that he was often the contender against the stereotypical jock. Like from '99 to 2003. The Lakers and the Spurs won every championship. Spurs won '99 and '03, and Lakers had their three-peat. So to cheer for someone going against Shaq and Kobe, the stereotypical jocks, the best person to cheer for was Duncan, and that's what I really liked about him, is that he could stick it to him. He lost a lot of times, obviously, against the Lakers, but often other times they stuck it to him and they just demolished him. And I was just like, yes, this is someone, the underdog, the person that not all the media is obsessed with, not all the jocks in school are obsessed with, that the media is not obsessed with, beat their contender. Same thing when the Spurs beat the Cavaliers in 2007. Just put LeBron James in his place. Like, you're not a fucking superstar. Just because you're flashy and talk, yo, 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 just doing all this stupid shit, the way they fucking talk. So as the underdog, as the referees were not favoring them in any game, they were always favoring Kobe Bryant and Shaq and the flashy Lakers. And that's someone I could look up to. The underdog who beats not only one of the best players in generation, Kobe, which I will admit, even though I don't like him, he's one of the best players in our generation of playing basketball. So not only can Duncan and the Spurs beat them, but they can beat the referees who slant every single fucking game in favor of the Lakers. That's how fucking good they are. So that is my late night drunken tribute to Tim Duncan. I'll always miss him. I'll always miss not seeing him on the court because as far as I can remember, he's always been on the court. He's the reason why I started watching basketball in the first place. So it's really hard to watch this current NBA season, knowing this is the first season in my memory that he's not on the court. So yeah, it's hard, but I'm not completely heartbroken about it. Like lots of other people are taking it way worse than me. They're just devastated, and I'm thinking to myself, it's not like he retired after 5 years, like his career was cut short by some horrible injury or some personal thing in his life where he had to quit the league or something. He played for as long as his body could. I mean, that was the reason why he quit. He said it was just too hard on his body, So he achieved what so many people want, just to be a champion 5 times. Only a handful of people in the world can say that they are 5-time NBA champion. He lived the dream. He is set for life. He will set his legacy. For decades to come, Spurs fans will look up to him. You know, so it's just like, yeah, I'm sad he left and whatever, but he did what he set out to do, to be one of the best, arguably the best. That's a whole nother debate, won't get into that. How could you be sad about that? How can you be sad for someone who achieved everything they could desire and even more? You know, just brought... What were the Spurs before Duncan? They didn't win a championship. They were nobody. He comes in, and with lots of other factors combined, he makes it to be a top contending organization. They've been to playoffs every single year since he joined. So yeah, no. Yeah, so I'll be sad that he left, but I'll also be happy that he helped shape a culture that will propel the Spurs to win for years to come. You know, he inspired Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard takes after his personality and his way to approach a basketball in the media and society, whatever in general. You know, so it's good that he is putting his influence on players so that long after he is off of the court, his influence will still be there. How can you be sad about that? That's great. That's amazing. Like, he did his time. He left his mark. Now it's time for the organization to find a way to win a championship without him, which they've never done. But looking at how they're standing right now in the season so far, I know the season's only a couple of months old, but a couple of months started last month. So I just want to say thank you, Tim Duncan, for all the great memories from when I was in elementary school to when I was after graduated college. All these great memories of so many games, so many close calls, so many great championships. I mean, just how could I say anything else but thank you for all the memories.